Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Kelly. This is a video that I made back in July, and it's part of a very long video that I did. I did a really long ride that day. And honestly, I wasn't planning on editing that video or releasing it to the general public. Kind of like the last video I just did, which is going to drop here in about, an hour. And so I will do a video explaining why these older videos from a month or two are coming out, and why I haven't actively posted any videos since, goodness, April, I think. Yeah, April. And I'll get into all of that a little bit, but these were some private videos that I made that I was just going to drop on like a diary, I guess, if you will, a very private channel. But as I was going through them, I thought, well, getting back to the roots of my channel and what I created this for, I decided to release these. I highly edited them, cleaned them all up, got rid of a lot of stuff that wouldn't that just shouldn't be there. And nothing bad. It's just a lot of stuff that would be uh, I don't want to say disinteresting, but would break the flow of the video as a whole. Because when I'm on my own, I tend to scatterbrain, and I'm going all over the place. And this video that you're about to see is going to go in three different directions. It's going to start off with current events, and then it's going to go into some childhood memories, and it's going to take a couple of different paths there. So, but again, that's what this channel was started for and what it was about. And I'll get into more of that later on. But for now, I'm just going through videos that I'd made, and I'm trying to clean them up and release them. And I don't know how many, I have like half a dozen more videos, and we'll see how many of them I get through and release. I don't know if I'm going to release everything that was on this video back here, but there's some stuff that I will probably not release at all. But we'll see. I mean, that was like a 4-hour ride that day, and I talked a lot about a lot of different stuff. I don't even remember everything. But anyway, I dropped what I dropped tonight, and it'll probably post, I don't know, next week. So that'll give me some more time to edit out some more stuff and come up with something like that's current that I'm actually doing. So anyways, hope you all like it, and we'll see you on the other side.
So I've been wanting to do, more personal stories and kind of back off of current events, but man, current events is so wild right now. It's not even funny. I'm truly believing we're on the edge of a shooting war with ourselves. But I don't know. I mean, the only reason why we're not is because Trump has been so restrained in dealing with these riotous insurrectionalist people that are trying to keep ICE from doing their job. I don't know how much longer that's going to keep going on, because the rioters are continually amping up the aggression to the point of actually now they're using, instead of fireworks and stuff, there's actually one person dead from a rioter shooting them, ambush style attacks. And they got on video another guy at the very least pointing a handgun at him. It's still in question whether or not he actually shot at anyone. At some point, law enforcement is just going to respond lethally, and then that'll give the Democrats everything they wanted. They feared a tyrant, they feared a fascist, and they're creating a tyrant because of what they are doing. If they would just sit back and let law enforcement do their job and get rid of the illegals, the smugglers, you know, no one's talking about how ICE has already found 10,000 children that have been smuggled in and using for labor and other nefarious things. No one's talking about that. You know, all you hear about is American citizens being plucked off the street like a Gestapo force, and that's not what's happening. But that's the line that Democrats keep spitting out so that their ground troop NPCs can go out there and threaten and harm law enforcement, and they think they can do this without consequence. And to a certain degree, they've been right, because the consequence that would be coming is just absolute, devastation. It is the thing that they fear. They are creating the thing that they fear. I don't know how this ends personally. In a simplistic black and white world, either the Democrats stand down or they get annihilated. But I don't know. I mean, the more violent they get, the more divided we become, the more solid the dividing lines are. And at some point, it feels like it's just going to come down to which side of that line are you on? Are you soft, squishy, and willing to find peace at all costs, even if it means surrendering law enforcement, on some kind of an idol of placation, so that all the illegals that were brought in here through shady means, outright illegal and twisted and bent laws from the Biden administration, are allowed to stay? Are you willing to go amnesty to stop all this? Or are you willing to do the right and just thing and continue hammering away at the invasion that previous administration had allowed and actually wanted, in spite of your own countrymen's resistance? I choose the latter. If I was young enough to go for ICE, I think I would, because they are doing what's right. Optics be damned. I don't care if it looks wrong. It absolutely is the right thing to do. The media is trash, garbage. I suppose this is a good enough. I'll just stop with that for now. But hey, let's go back 50 years to Denver, Colorado, because that's about as far back as I can remember. The world wasn't on fire like it is now, or at least not to a 6-year-old, right? To my 6-year-old self, I was getting out on days like this, much like I am now, not on 2 wheels, but on 3. I had this thing called a big wheel. And there was another version of it called, I think, the Jolly Green, or something like that. Green Machine. But the big wheel was mine. Really wish this was a sunny day. This is a much prettier ride on a sunny day. Still not bad though. I digress. Oh my gosh, I was an absolute terror on that thing. Be running up and down the block, racing. And what made me such a terror on that big wheel was the fact that I would go to this local establishment called Athmar Park, and basically it was just an outdoor area, strip mall, like mall stuff. It had a liquor store, a bowling alley, a beauty salon. What else did it have? I don't remember. Those were the main things though. I would ride my big wheel there. That wasn't like a far trip from the house. There are some stairs that there's an upper level to it, and then there's a flight and a half of stairs, and I would ride that big wheel to that Athmar Park and then ride it down the stairs. And I remember running through people, under people, around people. At some point I believe they were trying to catch me, but one of the Saturdays that I was doing this, and but they never did. I would be pumped, adrenaline spiked at my little single digit age self, and running that big wheel as hard as I could. It finally broke on me. I think I finally trying to do some weird stuff with it. Like, I think I tried to jump it on a ramp. Anyways, it finally broke, like literally broke in half on me, and I was sad. I tried to get Mom and Dad to buy me a green machine, which was kind of the same concept, except for having, handlebars. It had, for its steering and slide control, like joysticks. And that seemed like really fun, but they wouldn't get it for me. I guess they had enough of my shenanigans too. But that was good times. That was more innocent times for sure. I believe, goodness gracious, my voice. I believe I was still going to Goldrick Elementary School at the time that I had that big wheel. In fact, I'm pretty positive I was. What do I remember about that? Let's see, what else? Well, what else in general was happening in my young life? Man, I remember, camping out in the backyard. My dad always had a tent for hunting and stuff like that, even though I wasn't going hunting with him at this point. I'd say that's probably the biggest stuff. Everything else kind of revolves around school, I believe. Goldrick Elementary, my goodness. So Goldrick Elementary was within walking distance. I don't know what it's like in your time, but in my time, even in certain parts of the city of Denver, you were still safe enough to walk around. Denver now is a whole different beast, a whole different thing than what it used to be. But back then, as a child, I could walk to school. Like I literally did every time, up until I got into high school. And then I took the bus, the public regional transportation district, RTD bus, city bus. But yeah, I would walk to school there, and man, Goldrick School, that was a crucible. I mean, I don't know if the tropes about Gen X being the most dangerous generation because of how we were raised or not raised, how we were basically feral children, which we were, is still going around. But right now in 2025, it's really hitting its strides, because for the longest time, Generation X was just a forgotten generation. You had the greatest generation, which is World War II. You had the baby boomers, which came right after World War II, because everybody was having babies because of the war, surviving the war. And after the boomers, you had Gen X. That would be me. After the Gen X, you had the millennials because, you know, the year 2000 was coming up. Gen X, for the longest time, just got kind of ignored. Whenever Gen Z ever got mad at someone, they'd always blame the boomers. And rightfully so, the boomers were awful. And I'm talking generationally wide. It's like, not like every boomer is terrible. Not like every Gen X was feral. I was probably considered feral. We got another biker up here somewhere? Oh, hell yeah. Park on, brother. So Gen X, we were raised in these crucible playgrounds. Wasn't no soft landing, wasn't no minced up rubber. It was gravel, concrete, tar like the road I'm riding on, and it wasn't necessarily smooth either. And then we had these all steel implements of destruction called toys, like this Ferris wheel. It's not a Ferris wheel like a nice park Ferris wheel. This thing was on its side, and you had three of your friends spinning it till it got to like I don't know, G-force of 4, and you're hanging on for dear life. And if you were and it was doable if you were on the inside, had a good grip, and snaked your body in and out of the metal holding cells that they created on this thing. However, if you were on the outside, like you got on while they had it in motion and you were trying to get in, oh no, you were coming off of that thing. There was no way your grip, your little 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old grip was going to hold on for very long while this thing was going Mach 7. And when you flew off, you had no idea which way you were coming off. You know, you're landing like a raggedy doll. You might wipe out somebody. You might just wrap yourself around a post. Kind of actually good training for a motorcycle accident, if I'm not missing. I mean, honestly. So then there are all steel monkey bars, all steel slides that threaten to tear your skin off in the sun because you didn't actually slide, you just kind of stuck to it like a salmon on a griddle. Yeah, pretty wild stuff. And then there's dodgeball. Ha! Oh, dodgeball, the crucible of pain, the apex predators going after the prey and calling it a good day and fun. Sometimes you were predator, sometimes you were prey. What you never wanted to be was the last one chosen on a team. That made you an automatic target for destruction. So we would get on these dodgeball teams. Usually the older kids, like a grade higher, would be the first ones up to throw the ball. Had to make sure they properly throttled us so we didn't have anything left to throw the ball back on when it came time to switch sides. I mean, and these kids, they didn't just toss the ball. They were throwing it with everything that they had, because power meant velocity. Velocity meant you didn't have time to get out of the way of that bullet. And so they would take like 3, 4, 5 steps back, get a running start, and chuck that thing. It only had to go like 30 feet. Like, my goodness. And of course, the whole idea of dodgeball is you have to dodge the ball. And there's like 6 of us up against the squad. It was like a firing squad. The more I think about it, it's like, holy smokes. It was literally a firing squad. You had a team of, say, like 6 and 6. 6 aggressors, 6 kids up against the wall. No, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right. I want to say maybe it was just one guy throwing the ball. Man, I'm trying to remember 50 years ago before it fades away completely. So give me a break here, man. Yeah, I think it's more like one guy. Anywhoosies, what I do remember with all clarity is a body throwing a red ball at max velocity and desperately trying to not be in its path. And it was a firing squad. Your backs were up against the wall. You had lines on either side that you couldn't cross, or else you were automatically disqualified, and that was a shame. That was a shameful thing. You'd rather take the ball than cross the line. Sorry about that. I was spaced out momentarily so I could squeeze by that car and wave to another biker. So when that ball made contact with you, oh my gosh. And eventually it would, because that guy throwing would keep throwing until everybody got tagged. The object wasn't not to get hit at all. The object was to not be was to be the last guy standing. Because if you were the first few guys to get out, that just means you were too slow to move. It was like evolution, an evolutionary experiment in real time. Only the fastest will survive. That was such I don't even know if they play that anymore. That's such a wild game. There's so many lessons to be learned from that. But when he did connect, oh boy, wasn't so bad if you were the last one, because you gotta admit, I mean, if you were to last long enough, you know, he's getting tired. It's not going to have the same sting as if you were like the first one to get nailed. And if he only grazed you and not hit you dead center mass, that still counted. You're still out. But man, if you were one of the first ones to get nailed full strength and he caught you center mass, man, I seen bloody noses, black eyes, seen kids hit the ground in tears because the wind got knocked out of them. I mean, that was a game. Oh boy.